Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. This is Vlogmas in July 2022, day 16, and we're starting the starch experiment today. So if you want to check out making the Diamond Pavers block and discussing some starch, please stay tuned. Appreciative to you for tuning in to Vlogmas in July for 2022. This is going to be a three-part series that I want to do for the next 3 Saturdays. I am going to attempt a starch experiment. I went ahead and purchased some starch. I got this from Walmart. This is the Faultless Heavy Finish. This is what I'm going to be using as a part of the experiment. For those of you who are new to my channel, I don't typically use starch when I'm sewing or quilting, so I want to try it out and see how I like it. And I'm going to try using my way, which is no starch, and then I'm going to do 2 more techniques using the starch to see how I like it and which technique I feel like works better for me. Now, I do have a small gripe about this. I purchased, well, it's not about the starch. I purchased this starch at Walmart. I have my receipt right here, and I paid $1.79 at Walmart for this starch. Okay, I went to Joann right after I left Walmart because I was looking for a ruler, and I looked at the price of the starch in Joann, and it was $6.99. Same brand, same size, except it was the normal finish instead of the heavy finish. I'm going to put a picture right here in the video of that. I just could not believe it that the price was so much higher at Joann. And I love Joann, but to me that was a bit extreme. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I know that companies do what they feel like they have to do. That didn't really sit well with me. So anyway, mini rant over. And what I've decided to do for my starch experiment is I'm going to make the same block using the 3 starch methods. Well, the one method is no starch, and then using 2 different starch methods. And what I did, whenever I'm in a jam about a pattern or a new technique to try, I ask my Cameron. And so Cameron actually chose the pattern for me for this project. I'm going to make a table runner because it's going to be quick and simple and small. And I feel like the block that he chose is going to make a really lovely table runner that's actually going to go on my kitchen table. Okay, so he chose a pattern from this block magazine. This is the Missouri Star Quilt Company magazine that they put out. I don't even know how often they put it out, but I got this one, I think, like as a freebie in something, and this is the holiday block from 2019. So he pulled a pattern out of here. So I'm going to show you what he chose for us, or for me to make. It is this quilt. I hope you can get a close-up of it. It's called the Diamond Pavers quilt, and it is one block that's repeated over and over. And in this quilt, there are actually 36 blocks, I think. 36 blocks here, but I'm only going to make 5 for the table runner. Okay, and in this magazine, what I really like about it is that it gives clear instructions, but in 2 ways. This page just has the written instructions, but then the page after actually has the visual instructions, so that you can use either method, or a little bit of both methods to see what works best for you. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to try this block out. At first I was worried that it was too simple. The way the quilt is set up is it has blocks that are outlined in the dark fabric, as you can see here, and then blocks that are outlined in the light fabric. So as I show you the fabrics, I'm going to do 3 blocks that are outlined in a lighter fabric, and then 2 blocks that are outlined in the darker fabric. So I asked my Cameron what colors he thought would be appropriate, and he suggested a dark teal and gray, or light brown or cream or something like that. So I've pulled 2 sets of colors. I've pulled some dark teal and I've pulled some neutrals, and I looked for a gray, but I really don't have a lot of gray in my stash, like not a lot of light gray, but I may have some gray that I've been working on for the Starlight Star Bright quilts. I just haven't looked really closely yet. So we're gonna start with the teals and the creams. I haven't made a final decision about the neutrals yet, but we can go ahead and look at the dark teals here. There are 3. So I have this Batik. This is like a 10-inch strip. Okay. And then we have this, which is a little floral. And then I have this paisley. This is one I got from Biloxi, I think, last summer. And the name of this is called Home on the Range by Deb Strain from Moda. And it is a teal and brown paisley. So that could give me a chance to add some dark browns. And then I am sort of concerned about the style, but I think that it's cohesive enough because of the color. All right, and then for our neutral fabrics, again, I'm gonna choose 2 of these as a center diamond for my pavers, but not sure which ones yet. So we have this one. This is another one that I got in Biloxi. It's the little dolphins. Okay, and then I really like this one as possibly a center, and I also love this one. This one's actually from Joann. It's a keepsake calico, and I just love this scroll design. So all 3 of these are possibilities for centers. I think that as I'm thinking about it now, I'm leaning towards these 2 because they're a little bit, these are sort of the same tone. This one seems to be a little bit darker. Okay, and then I pulled these just as possibilities for outlining these the other pieces. Okay, and this one, and I think these would be great choices. And then I have kind of a wild card fabric here that I'm not sure is going to make the cut, but we'll just have to see. Okay, so I have this one. It's like a light blue teal with some brown and pink dots on it. So I don't know if it's gonna make the cut. But so if I put this one to the side and maybe put this one to the side. Okay, so these are our neutrals. All right, I hope they look cohesive enough on camera. And these are our darks. All right. Now, as I think about how I'm gonna approach this experiment, the first thing I'm gonna do today in this video is go ahead and make one of the blocks. And I'm gonna do it the same way I typically make my quilt blocks, with no starch. So you're gonna see me pressing and cutting out the pieces, and you'll also see me sewing this block together, again with no starch. I'm going to use this pattern this fabric as my center, and I think that this will be my center piece in the block. Haven't decided. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might not want to do that. But the reason that I'm thinking that it would be the center is because I might also want it to be the border. So as I look at the quilt, this would be the border, and then I can use these other pieces for the other two blocks. So I'm going to use this as my center, and then probably this as my outline for that center block. So we're going to go ahead and go to the ironing board, press all these, cut the pieces, and then sew this together. I'm ready to press these fabrics. These are 1 yard cuts, and even though I'm only going to cut like one strip off of each one, I am going to press the whole yard and then take it over to the table and cut it. I am going to speed up the video, but I just want to, oh, this is not a 1 yard cut. This is like a half a yard. Anyway, this is just to let you know, just so you can see that I am not using any starch. I'm just gonna press these with a steam iron at the hottest setting on this iron. It is linen. So I'm just gonna give these a good press. I'm gonna speed up the video starting now. Cutting measurements here for the quilt. I will not give you the measurements, but it is very simple. This block is made with just squares and rectangles. So I'm going to cut out of each one of these fabrics. I will do that on camera, but I'm only going to, but I'll speed it up so that you can see the whole process. I'm going to be cutting the rectangles out of the neutral fabric and the square out of the larger fabric. Again, this is Missouri Star's pattern, so you can check out, I'm sure they have a tutorial for this video, but also this block holiday block magazine. So let's cut some fabric. The pieces here, and I'm ready to do some sewing. The way that this block works is you take the rectangles and you use the rectangles to turn a square into a diamond. I won't go into a lot of detail about that because, like I said, this is not my pattern, but basically what you do is you angle the pieces as you stitch them down so that you create this rectangle, you create this diamond, but it still ends up being a square. So I want to do that on camera here. I have the directions kind of in front of me to help me navigate that, but I will speed the video up, maybe about half speed so you can still see the process, but I'm not going to explain exactly how to do it. You have to get the Missouri Star pattern so that you really understand how to put this together. But again, just going to speed it up a little bit so that you can get to see the process. You will see me using leader enders because right now I'm not doing, I'm only doing one block. When I get to the later blocks, I'll be doing 2 at a time and I'll be able to use those as leader enders. But for now, it is what it is. So I'm gonna, I have the pattern here, or the directions in front of me. I'm gonna start stitching this. I will start with a leader ender so I don't mess up my precious table runner fabric. Before I talk about the starch or not using the starch, this block is so adorable. I love the way that it came together. It was pretty simple. I know you saw me ripping out one of the seams, but that is because I did a little bit of, I measured it wrong. Instead of measuring from the top of the block, I measured from this little intersection right here, and that wasn't right. But when I went back and fixed it, it just turned out perfect. We went from a square look to a diamond look, but the block is still a square. So it's really great. The only things about it, I'm excited that I'm gonna try to make this block with starch, because there were some parts of it that I felt like were a little flimsy, just putting everything together. And that may have been, I mean, it probably was the fabric. So I'm interested to see how effective the starch is at really stiffening it and making it easier or harder to use. But I love this block that Cameron chose. I think it's going to be perfect for my little table runner. And I'm excited about putting the border. I think this fabric will be great for a border. And so for the next video, we're going to do the technique where you spray the starch and then immediately press the fabric and make the block. So I'm going to be trying that next time. And then for the last one, I'm going to saturate the entire, all of the fabric with starch, let it sit overnight, and then press it the next day. So hopefully we can see the difference between the different techniques and see if maybe I change my mind about starch. I'm not sure that I will, but it's definitely a possibility. And with a block this simple, it's worth a try. So I hope that you will continue to follow me on Vlogmas in July 2022 to see the results of this experiment. If you have any questions about what you've seen in the video, please leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!